actually, the book is about the seven queens. The book is about the Sindhi folk tales. And Madam Menka Shivdasani, the poet, has translated the Sindhi folk tales into English verses.
I'll explain it.
Yeah, okay. And Madam Barka has done a English translation, Sindhi translation. She has translated it to Sindhi. So the original folk tales were in Sindhi.
No, I have retold them in my voice as a
In
poet.
English?
In English. They're
Yeah.
completely original compositions.
Oh, they're okay.
They're
Okay.
not
They're based on
translations.
folklores.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Thank you. So, to begin it all, in this session of Meet My Book, talking about her book, Seven Queens, is Miss Menka Shivdasani. Menka Shivdasani is a poet. She has 4 poetry books to her credit. Nirvana at 10 rupees is her first book. Stepped, Safe House, and Frazzle. Am I right, ma'am? Frazzle.
Yes, so
This is it.
This is the fifth.
That is the fifth. This is the fifth one. The four books that have said now the titles. And now, forever proud of her Sindhi roots, Miss Menka Shivdasani feels that a book must be a distillation of a lifetime's worth of thought, feeling, and experience. Let us see now what she has to tell about her book Seven Queens while she's in conversation with Sri Sushil Gazwani and Miss Barka. Thank you, ma'am. Please carry on.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Is this functioning? Okay, so let me just clarify a couple of things. I'm a poet writing in English, essentially, and in fact, only writing in English. And over the last couple of years or 4 years, maybe, I've been very interested in the Sindhi roots and heritage that our generation lost. We heard a lot about that this afternoon, and the last 3 days, in fact. And because I'm a poet, my interest was in retrieving the poetry of the Sindhi community. So about 25 years ago, in 1998, there was a book of Sindhi partition poetry that I did with Anju Makhija, who's in the last row here, and Arjan Shad, Professor Arjan Shad, who lived through partition. And a few years ago, I started saying I want to retell the Sindhi folk tales in my voice as a poet. And I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know where to begin. I just had some vague idea of what these stories were all about. And I also could not relate to these stories because with a modern mindset, there are things that you just don't understand. I mean, how can someone fall dead in a faint because, they're in love with somebody they've never seen before? And I could not relate to any of this until I started reading more about it, researching, going into the heritage and the language and the landscape and the minutiae of life in prehistoric Sindh, where these folk tales would have come from. And then I realized that the way to do this, one was that it didn't matter if, I couldn't relate to the way people behaved, because fundamentally these are stories about human nature. And that hasn't changed in 5,000 years for sure. And the other thing I realized was that if I told these stories, some of which are very complex, and how do you bring it all with the history and you can't do it chronologically. So I realized the way to do it was as dialogue poems with the central characters, the 2 central characters. And I started working on it. I had no idea what I was doing, and I wasn't sure I was on the right track. And then one day, Sushil Gajwani, who is a filmmaker, you saw his film yesterday, his film and Barkha's film. I showed it. He called me and he said, "I'm doing a program on Sindhi literature, and I'd like you to be part of it." And I sent him this thing and I said, "By the way, what do you think? This is something I've tried my hand at." And he came back and he said, "I want to shoot this." And I said, "Oh, is there something here that I should be looking at? Seriously, And then I retold the Sindhi folk tales, the 7 main ones. There are several others, but the 7 queens was, I thought, the central aspect of the folklore. And Sushil prodded me. He said, "No, when are you giving me the second? When are you giving me the third?" And finally, I did all 7. And meanwhile, there was another English poet called Gayatri Chawla, who did a book called Borders and Broken Hearts, which is also about Sindh and her heritage as a Sindhi writer. And she did a very interesting thing. She got people, Barka included, to translate those poems of hers from English into Sindhi, Sindhi Devanagari as well as Sindhi Arabic. And I said, that's a good idea. So when I was done with my poems, which are original English compositions, I asked her if she would translate them into Sindhi. So typically one hears of Sindhi, you hear of the regional language being translated into English. Here it is through English that I wanted to give back something to Sindhi. And both Sushil and Barka have been extremely supportive of this project. And Barka has come specially today, this morning, for whatever was left of the Hyderabad Lit Fest and to be with us. So Barka, tell me about your experience of translating it. I don't think I was very nice to you when you were doing the translation.
You didn't know what I was writing. For me, it came to be very naturally because I heard these folk tales from my mother, and ever since I grew with her, and every folk tale she probably had a folk song to sing. So it was very easy, and I was very happy to see Menka's imagination. Instead of writing poetry, it was a dialogue between the lovers, where the characters are the way we all are. There's love, there's jealousy, there's sadness, there's sorrow, there's joy. Everything combined together make these folk tales. And it came naturally to me, but of course I had to work hard at it. But I love doing it. It is my tribute to my parents who taught me Sindhi language. So that's how it fell into place.
And it fell into place very quickly because Sushil Kajwani was given a date by the National Centre for Performing Arts to launch this book when it was not even a manuscript. So in 1 month, with Sushil's help, looking at the Sindhi pages with Barka, and her cousin, her nephew put it together, the layouts. And in a month's time, the book was ready to showcase on the stage. I'm going to request Sushil to present one of the poems with me. And so it's about 7 minutes, it's one of the short ones.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. So this is called The Flute and the Tree, and it's the Umar Marui story. And this is how it goes. It has been many years since I have seen my desert land, magical Malir, that heaven in the sand. You robbed me, Umar Sumro, of the people I love, the Marus of power for whom I was a turtle dove. You swooped down like a spotted eagle, made me your prey, imprisoned me in your fort, tried to make me obey. But you must accept, great king, I will never belong to you, because my heart is in the Thar, my parents too. It was Palino and Madhui who brought me to life, and I will go back to be Ketsen's wife.
You precious, obstinate woman, whom I wish to make mine. No one remembers you in the land you hold dear. No one will ever want you back in Mali. If you return, they'll only sneer. Because they'll believe you have been defiled. They will no longer see you as their child. So get your head out of the sand and listen to me. I've been in love with you. I've been in love with you, and could have made you happy. But you continue to see me as your enemy despite all the wealth I command. I asked for your hand to share it with you. I treated you well and deserved such treatment too.
To you, my Malir may be a mirage in the Thar, but to me it is real. Even though now I am so far, it is a place I have loved, where I have felt whole. And though years have passed, it is alive in my soul. My loved ones may have forgotten me, but in my heart they will always be dearer than any riches in your chilly fort, where brick walls close in as you hold court. You are king, and would have me only for sport. But make no mistake, I will never be your consort.
You try to make yourself ugly. You try to make yourself ugly. Refuse to wash your hair. Wear your ragged garments, though I've offered you silk and gold. You thought by these actions you could turn me away. You thought by these actions you could turn me away. You do not know the power you could hold over this youthful body that had waited for you. And while I could certainly have had you by force, there'd be no pleasure until you could agree to take my love and this life of luxury. Other women would gladly accept these gifts. What made you so stubborn when you could be free?
What freedom do you speak of, you cruel monarch? For I am cocooned in the space where the day seems dark, because though the sun shines, I do not see it light up my home. And while you have given me fragrant gardens that I could roam, none of it matters because it is not where I belong. And however you try to break me, I will stay strong. Malir burns like a hot rod in my brain, and I will not rest till I see it again. One day, you will have to let me go back to where my people await me and the world is not so black. Because in my part of the Thar, emeralds glitter in the field, and no matter what you say, I will not yield. For me, life in your cold fort holds no charm. Foxen, that traitor who tended our farm, could not have me, so he did me harm. With what evil intentions he came to you and whispered in your ear what you should do. Were you so gullible? You listened to him? And rode on your camel to Malir on a whim, so that you could, in the guise of a traveler, appear and snatch me from the home I hold so dear. Your camel's hooves caused a sandstorm as we flew by, and though my eyes burned, I could not cry. I beg you, king, that should I die, take my body back to Malir so I can say goodbye. In the end, one must always come home.
You are no prisoner. You are no prisoner but a welcome guest. I tried for many years. I've tried for many years but failed to make you my own. And this has broken my soul. It is true. Over these years, my fondness for you has grown. You are the woman I'll always want. No one else has such a rare power to enchant. You leave a mark on all you see with not just your beauty but your purity. And though you spurn my love, you transform me. You transform me. I must tell you a secret, though I resist it fast. I try to shut it from my mind, I try to ignore it, but my heart did burst.
What is it, Umar? You seem perturbed.
Some days ago, a woman came to me. She said she knew your family and she knew mine when I was an infant in arms. She told me a story I found hard to believe, because to think it true would cause me to grieve. I tried to shut it from my mind for as long as I could, but in my heart I knew I was doing no good. Still, I attempted to make you mine. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong, but couldn't let you go. And your resolve has saved us both. I now know it is time to take you home myself. Marui. The truth is, Marui, your mother had failed me. She was my wet nurse when my parents traveled to Malir. And I was hungry. But mother's breast was dry. Madhui came to my rescue and suckled me as her own. Marui, you're like my sister. And I must atone for the sins I've committed, the wrongs that I have wrought, believing you to be someone I could have bought. And I still love you. I still love you, but it has to be a different kind of love, touched by purity. I've sent my man to your parents with a message from me, though I do not know if they'll accept my apology.
Umar Sumro, is this true what you say? Then let us go back this very day. I must see my loved ones and the man I will wed, for it is only Ketsen who will share my bed, and I cannot wait another moment to see them.
Let's go then. My camel waits, and though I'm full of sorrow while you leave these gates, come, sister, let's return. And though my heart will forever yearn for you, I can sin no more. I can sin no more.
You do well, my king, to let me go. The truth must have been hard for you to say, I know, but you have finally earned my love and proved to me that there is a God above. Let us make haste, for the desert calls my name. To delay any further would be a shame, and the sun is already going down.
I worry after all these years, your brother will think you're no longer pure. And if that happens to your sister, you'll have a home with me. Of that you can always be sure. But I'll send my army to punish them for doubting.
First, you committed a sin by abducting me. Would you compound that with further brutality? Go, king, go back, for I see Malir in the distance, and this land alone is my reason for existence. If they doubt me, I will touch a hot iron rod to prove I am blessed by the hand of God, and they will know I am chaste of body and soul.
Let us leave them. Let us leave them, Mary. May the saints be with you. In a world where there are so few who can love a land that may forget them. If they put you to the test, know that I'll be blessed if I can prove myself too.
And then the narrator comes in, so there's a third voice. And when the sands of suspicion blew thick and fast in Malir, Marui and Umar held out their hands, and the flaming iron rod was cold to their touch. They emerged unscathed, for both were pure. The fire was something they could easily endure. Now the kinsfolk listened when Marui spoke, the truth she had always known to these simple folk. We all belong to the place of our birth and must return to that heaven on earth if we have lost our way. The flute must be one with the wind and the tree to the space where it found its melody. Only then is it truly home.
That's wonderful. That's a very beautiful and emotional poem. Very nice, very beautiful. And yeah.
Okay, so this Seven Queens was launched in August, and in December this book came out, which is a translation of Satchal Translations by Mohan Gehani and me. It's also bilingual, Sindhi and English. And this was officially launched in January, on January 18th at the NMK College.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Menkaji. Sir, I'm very astonished by the memory of Sushil, sir. He never saw the book for even a single line. Very great, sir. Very impressed.
You know, he's taken the trouble to learn all of them, in fact, that we presented.
Oh, recently has learned.
We've done a
Too
few
great.
earlier. And I cannot do that. I've told him, listen, I can't do it.
Yes,
You're welcome.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Even though it's
Thank
my
you,
own
sir.
lines.
Thank you very much for coming here. Thank you, Menkaji. Thank you, Sushilji. Any questions from the audience, sir? These books will be available at the HLF bookstore. Please buy them.
Okay, I only gave 2 copies of each of my books to the bookstore. So if anyone wants a copy, they can
Or
also
they will
get it
be,
here.
yeah, you can buy them right away here. And the Amazon also?
Yes, they are available
Yeah,
on
they're available
Amazon.
on
They're
Amazon
available
also.
worldwide, published by Black Eagle Books at Sahitya Academy, and both are on Amazon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the beautiful poem that you have read at both of you. Thanks very much.